Miriam Hanane.
I'm an investigative journalist.
We're here asking people about the coronavirus and what they think.
I'm here in the Sinai Desert. Come with me as I investigate.
What does all your other work have to do with Google?
In 2018, we were getting 500,000 unique visitors, and we suddenly saw the traffic go down. I wonder if Google has any links to Big Pharma.
Thank you so much for this, Mary, especially this film, Vanishing of the Bees.
Do they know something we don't about GMOs?
There's a confusion and blaming just Monsanto when it's really we need to look at Bayer and Syngenta.
These poisons aren't just killing bees, they're also killing beings.
I'm saying that this is the virus that didn't cry wolf. Are you afraid of coronavirus?
No.
Graphene oxide, that's what got me killed on Twitter. Banned from Amazon, Instacart, Airbnb, Chase's bank account. She gets really deep into stories, those where everyone isn't willing to go.
Miriam, you have been hot on the trail of Charles Lieber since this case became public.
I'm not a prostitute or a parrot.
Do not let them turn you into lab rats.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Truth Lives Here. My name is Miriam Hanane. I'm an investigative journalist, best known for directing the film Vanishing of the Bees. I'm also an accredited functional medicine coach and consultant. Today, I have the great pleasure of being joined by David Konn of Quantum Cellular Medicine, and we will be discussing the many benefits of PEMF. David has been a friend for a couple of years, and when I injured my knee and tore my meniscus, if it wasn't for David, I probably wouldn't be walking and standing around. So he introduced me to the beautiful regenerative medicine of stem cells. And then I also used a PMF mat to just accelerate the healing. So that is pulse electromagnetic fields, and it's different than EMFs. It's a good kind of frequency medicine. So David, welcome. Maybe you can start by telling us a little bit about your background.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Miriam. It's such a pleasure and a joy to meet some of your other friends who listen to you and learn a lot from your great investigative journalism and your healing. And it's just been a real joy to know you and meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, my background, I originally, my education was psychology and kinesiology.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to another field for quite a time. But then about 20 years ago, I began to become very interested in transforming my health initially, as it happens for a lot of people. And then it began this odyssey into the body's amazing regenerative capability. And everything was transformed in me. So then I began to work diligently in the field. And I got involved with an organization called Neuroenergies Inc. It was a technology from Russia. And we developed that. And then about 5 years ago, I began quantum cellular medicine clinics. And that's a field of medicine that focuses on cell function and cell communication in the diagnosis, treatment, and maintenance of optimal health. And now we're fully engaged in this evolving field of medicine called regenerative medicine. And that's really what we did to transform and regenerate your knee without surgery, without anything that has a deleterious effect, but allow the body's own regenerative capability to heal. And
Yeah,
so,
just tell the audience, in case they don't know, that I tore my meniscus pretty badly, and that the area in which I tore the meniscus was considered like a white zone where there's not enough blood that goes to the area, and the go-to is surgery. And after doing a deep dive myself on different methods of healing or what to do with the meniscus, that removing the meniscus or playing with the meniscus in any way is really setting you up for a life of osteoporosis and arthritis. And that is like complete opposite of regenerative medicine. So I was lucky enough to be able to do stem cells. We're not going to be focusing this show, but if anyone is interested, that David can give you more information on that. And I also did prolotherapy and PRP treatments. And then I was laying on the mat, the PEMF mat. I was using a pen. I was using a smaller mat, focusing on the knee. And of course, with all the electromagnetic smog that we're facing, that this is a godsend. So where would you like to start to maybe explain what is PMF to people?
Well, I prepared a little bit of a slide PowerPoint because it makes it easy for everyone to understand. If we could just go to that, I can kind of walk us along. The exciting thing, what's going on today in our world, and we're both patriots, and especially your great passion for everything that you're revealing, is we need to share what's true with the proper motivation. So we can say combining love and truth. That should be our avenue in the daily life.
Beautiful.
So that kind of has led me into this field. And so basically, quantum cellular medicine, what is QCM? It's basically, it's the segment of medicine that focuses on cell function and cell communication, diagnosis, treatment, and maintenance of health and wellness in the human body. Nothing heals the body like the body itself. Unfortunately, the medical system that we've found ourselves evolved in ever since I call it the Rockefeller medical industrial complex.
Yeah.
That's brought us into a stage where money and power is driving things in the wrong direction. There's tremendous power of healing, and that's really what QCM clinics are about. So
how many do you have in the country?
Well, there are about 40 different facilities that are using different types of our QCM products.
Okay.
The major focus ones that are doing the full range there's about 15 or 20 that actually are doing the everything, including the stem cell and exosome therapeutics as well. So yeah, basically quantum cellular medicine, we focus on cell regeneration because the body has this tremendous regenerative potential. So scientists and researchers have been examining this complex process of the cell intensely for more than 3 decades. And what's happens now, quantum physics, we know about quantum physics, is we talk about what you think and feel, how it affects other things. And we know the whole fear, energy medicine. I know a lot of your viewers may be involved in biohacking and involved in different type of energy medicine. Well, basically what's happened is quantum physics has given rise to quantum biology and quantum chemistry. So we can realize today the science side of what before we could only envision. And so this is bringing a huge breakthrough in medicine. So the question is, what is regenerative medicine? That's the field of medicine that regenerates the body. And so why is QCM critical for regenerative medicine? It's basically, regenerative medicine is this advanced field of medicine that supports and facilitates the body's remarkable capacity for cell regeneration. So they're physical, emotional, and energetic components for achieving successful regenerative medicine therapy. So with all of our clinics, we really focus on all 3 of these, and all our doctors are engaged in that objective. So basically, when we look at exosomes are, there's this communication ability of each cell which communicates with other cells, and there's actually exosomes which provide that communication. And we combine it with this resonance-based PMF. And so for decades, the growing interest we've had in the problem of premature aging. Premature aging is involved in every injury and in most diseases. So cell degeneration creates premature aging. So in these past few years, stem cells, PRP, as you mentioned, platelet-rich plasma, and exosomes have been hot topics among researchers and doctors and become the leading edge of regenerative medicine. And it was so exciting to work with you to transform that knee and avoid the the problem with surgery, and it's, I don't want to use the word a dirty secret, but it's really like a dirty secret. People say, "Oh, I just replaced my knee. I just replaced my hip. That's all I need to do."
Right.
They're not understanding that the body is a dynamic electromagnetic field, which I'm going to go into, and you
Yes.
interfere with that natural flow. And so what'll happen is you may function okay for a few years, but eventually you start having this premature breakdown, and that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
So exosomes are considered the most recent focus of research.
Yeah, I just want to say how grateful I am, David, for your assistance and for the ability to not have surgery. I had Zach telling me for a while, you know, you're not going to dance again, Mimi, and you need to have surgery. And this has really been a godsend. I think the mixture of the exosomes and the stem cells and the specific product that you have was just really miraculous. And it took a while. It's been 6 months, and it was pretty scary there for a while. And then, like I said, I combined it diligently with laying on the PMF mat, also because I personally am very sensitive to electrosmog. Sorry, so continue.
No, yeah, I'm going to actually go into electrosmog because that was very important. You were in an environment which, from the electrosmog component or the unstable EMFs, was difficult in the body. You want to support the entire body to help heal a local area of the body, like the knee.
Yeah.
And so everything is, we're in this. It's an amazing potential of regeneration the body has, but you have to create the right environment. So about 15 years ago, people thought exosomes were kind of like the sewer system of the cell, a way to get rid of waste material. That's Sanjay Batra, former adjunct professor at Wake Forest, would say.
Wow.
That's, they didn't understand what exosomes are, but, as quantum physics has given rise to quantum biology and quantum chemistry, we're now realizing in a free environment where the funding goes to really healing the body, we're really going to take off. And I believe we're going to get to the other side of the challenges we're in, and things are really going to transform, and people's ability to regenerate is going to be, it's exciting, but we've got to get to the other side. Anyway.
How would you define exosomes for someone who doesn't know what they are?
Well, basically, it's interesting. This is exactly the next. So what is an exosome?
Oh, great.
So basically, they're extracellular vesicles. The cells use them for communication. So an exosome is small. When we talk about small, we're talking about in nanometers, which is a millionth of a meter. It's between 30 to 150 nanometers.
Okay.
So it's an extracellular vesicle that's produced by a cell that can tell other cells what to do. It's kind of good and bad. When you talk about cancer, how does cancer go from one area of the body to metastasize in the whole body? The cancer cells send out their own exosomes to signal other areas of the body to reproduce cancer cells.
So there's signaling.
It's signaling. And so, but the exciting thing is in the positive way, you use the exosomes from amniotic fluid and neonatal, and we will talk in the future more about that, but that provides a signal for regeneration. So basically, intercellular communication through exosomes, they seem to have a role in a variety of diseases and reversal of the disease: cancer, neurodegeneration, inflammatory disease. So if you can provide the right signals, the body will signal revival, and it's going to communicate with the body's own resident stem cells to begin to regenerate. So and that's what happened in your knee.
Yeah.
We sent that signal, and it said, "Okay, let's get Mimi out there to dance again." So the body's intelligent. So one thing that we talk about when you talk about healing is you have to prepare the garden. With bee colony and everything you've done, you know how important it is. Our body is like a mini environment, ecosystem. And we want to support that body's
terrain.
ability.
You have to bolster the terrain.
That's exactly right. You have to support the terrain. And so this advancement in PMF technology really does that. So basically, we're preparing the garden for planting in the seed.
Awesome.
and we want to maintain the garden for vibrant growth. So it's a good way to think about that when you think about your body.
Mhm.
Everything you do, spiritually, emotionally, physically, you want to support that terrain.
Mhm.
So when we think about healing, you've got the mind-body connection, always critical for healing. We've taken care of patients for many years, and they've got to take care of that internal mind-body relationship if they want to heal. You can't just, this is why the challenge of allopathic medicine, where you're just going to apply a surgery or a drug, you're not dealing with the whole body's ability to regenerate. You're just basically stomping on symptoms.
Yeah, it's not holistic. It's compartmentalized and disconnected.
So there's a mind-body connection. There's lifestyle choices, the foods you eat and exercise, and it's more and more challenging to get that in order. And then regenerative medicine, where you restore and rebuild the body. So I'm going to just kind of jump ahead. So basically, aging in human beings, it's an evolutionary conserved mechanism. So what you think about is, what does that mean? So basically, the natural way in aging, the ailments we get, it's the natural way for the bodies to become weaker. So regeneration is where you support the body's ability to regenerate. How old are we meant to live? Are we just meant to live for 80 or 90 years? Or really, is there potential, if done correctly, 120 years and more? But not just decrepit, drug-induced survival, but vibrant, exciting life. And that's what everyone wants to do. And so this is really the field that we're focused on. So regenerative medicine focused on premature aging. And we're looking at premature aging facility, high levels of cell regeneration. And we're going to go into how remarkably that cell regeneration can occur. So QCM, our quantum cellular medicine clinics, brings technology and expertise to address this. And it's that ongoing process that requires full patient participation. One thing we like to say is regenerative medicine, is it a spectator or a participation sport? This is important because sometimes the idea you go into your doctor and say, doctor, fix me, and you put your hands out. No, this is a participation support.
Right.
So you want to be involved. And your doctor is really your coach. And more and more of our doctors in our QCM clinics think in that way.
Yeah.
They're supporting you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get into the remarkable PMF technology and what's been developed.
Okay.
So basically, the Earth's magnetic field, the entire Earth is a magnet. So the Earth is a magnet.
Yeah.
And also our body itself is a magnet. And significantly, each one of our 170 trillion cells are each magnets. So the PMF, the pulse electromagnetic field therapy, is providing an environment to support the cell regeneration. So when you think about your body, it's basically it needs magnetic energy to heal. This is why how you think and what you do is so critical.
Yeah.
So you've got, it's electromagnetic entity. The Earth is a dynamic magnet itself, as like we were showing, right? And our body is a dynamic magnet. So every one of our 70 trillion cells are each mini electromagnetic entities, and they're all in communication. So all this is going on. So each cell has a positive, negative field in the DNA. Cell division is a process responsible for keeping the body healthy.
Right.
Cells are dying and being reborn every day.
Yeah. Just
And
to also
the force.
remind the sorry to interrupt. So also
ahead.
just to remind the audience, we're electricity and water, and that's why it's so important to drink clean water and to be mindful of the electromagnetic smog that's around and that's just bombarding us in today's age. Sorry, continue.
It's true, absolutely true. And we're going to get to that. The exciting thing about this technology from Germany,
Yeah.
the only technology known in the world, it's patent to absorb electrosmog. So you're sleeping in a cocoon, which provides tremendous regeneration. So the proper function interaction of our organs depend on the constant presence of adequate magnetic energy. So the electrosmog is disturbing that communication.
Yeah.
So the body's not able to communicate and provide that regenerative capability. So that magnetism is essential for your body's electromagnetic activity. It plays a major role in health. So when you think about it, here's your cell metabolism of the cell. And this is one of the patents from Germany. You want to absorb the nutrients into the cell.
Yeah.
You want to create the Krebs cycle, and then you want to release the CO2, H2O, free radicals, and waste products from the cell.
Yeah.
So cells are our basic models of life. So improve IO function. The problem with the electromagnetic field, it destabilizes the cell membrane.
Wow.
Same with disease, same with injury. You start having a poor, you start to have a poor function of that cell membrane. You want to uptake and release. So now pulse electromagnetic field therapy, there are many benefits of it. And it really began in the 1900s. You know, I think part of our challenge is where money is pushed and what we do with the Rockefeller medical system has really affected how we can actually heal.
Yeah.
And so the first there's low Gauss and high Gauss systems. And you know, we showed the picture of the Earth as a magnetic entity. It's only it only goes like 40 to 50 Gauss is the Earth's magnetic pole, and your body's designed to work within that realm.
Okay.
So the low Gauss systems try to do it naturally. The high Gauss systems are very good for treatment if you're just fixing, you know, trying to fuse a bone. And
Yeah.
it's even approved by FDA for that. The high
I
Gauss
yeah.
system can be helpful.
So PMF is very good actually for healing fractures. So obviously
Absolutely.
it would be good for healing you know, tendons and everything else around the bone.
It's true. So, and then this is a little bit of a history. 79, FDA approved in 79 the healing of non-union bone fractures, urinary incontinence, muscle stimulation. These are approvals that even the medical system has seen. In 2006, it's approved for depression and anxiety. Israel accepted the use of PMF devices for migraine headaches. Canada's accepted PMF devices for numerous uses, actually. European has many acceptances for the use of PMF in therapy. So the technology that Germany developed, the cell vital quantum resonance system, is pretty exciting because what it's done is it restores that cell membrane IO function that we talked about, absorbs electrosmog. I'm going to go into that. This is really exciting because if you can go into cocoon every night, which protects you from electrosmog, 80% of your cell regeneration occurs at night in deep sleep. That's why you've been in the healing area, how important it is to be able to get deep REM sleep. And every health practitioner talks about it. But if your body's being bombarded by the electrosmog, your cells can't get that environment to really do the regeneration.
So can I say something here that
Sure.
so this mat is accessible to rent. We can get into that a little bit later, but what I've been doing is you in fact helped me put it underneath the mattress so it can penetrate I read that it can penetrate everything except steel or metals, and so
Yeah, that's correct.
actually have it underneath the mattress and put it on at night, in addition to turning off the Wi-Fi, because unfortunately I now live in a building, so in essence I have people, you know, probably having Wi-Fi below me, above me, and I can only control my unit. So that's something that I do if I'm not, you know, don't take a break to go lay on the mat, then I have it on for 60 minutes at night, and then if I wake up, I per your directions put it on again. So this image that you're seeing is the mat. It comes in a kind of like a Louis Vuitton bag that you can you can use, and then it has a pen and a smaller mat, which I'm sure you'll get into. But anyway, so let's go back to absorbing. I didn't realize that it's patented.
Yeah, it's the only technology that I'm aware of in the world that has a patent. German patents are really challenging. You have to prove the science to get a patent. The US patents are a little bit more flexible, unfortunately, but the German patents really require a full, scientific proof of whatever that outcome is that you're patenting. And so
Now, is
this is a
this
German
your
patent.
specifically, this mat is patented or PMF?
No, this mat, only this mat.
And so what
And
is
in
the,
fact, that's a problem. A lot of the PMF systems that are available actually create electrosmog. I'm going to show you a graph on that
okay,
that was done by a German and Austrian research organization. So you have to be careful if you know there are various mats, and I appreciate the value they may have in improving blood flow,
yeah,
but most significant, the body's own natural regeneration occurs. 80% of cell regeneration is at night. This is why that combination with the cell vital PMF system and stem cells and exomes is so powerful, because you're supporting that 80% period at night, which your cells are regenerate. That's your really regeneration. If
yeah,
you don't get that, you're not going to regenerate well.
right. And it is, I was listening, what is the frequency? Is it 60 megahertz? Do you know, and can you explain why this mat is superior to others? Like, how does it create electrosmog, which is horrible?
Yeah, I'm going to go to that now, but the
Okay,
basic when the scientist development, those of you who have been in the healing industry for a number of years would know the name Dr. Linus Pauling.
yeah,
He's considered the father of orthomolecular medicine.
yes,
Just an amazing. He's won the Nobel Peace Prize in medicine. Not that it's always gone to the right people in the right way, but in his case, he is the right guy. And also Robert O. Becker were part of the development team, and it's pretty exciting because it was a German physicist,
mm,
E.G. Fischer, who developed this, and he was very successful physicist, and he did a lot with when hydraulics were being replaced by pneumatics, and it's probably some of you in the audience are a little older, some a little younger, but back in the day when the Japanese cars came in, everyone wanted a Japanese car because they were so smooth and quiet. They were using pneumatics. We were still using hydraulics.
okay,
So anyway, pneumatics is, but he'd done very well. He had multiple patents, and he was a multimillionaire. But then he got a stroke in his mid 40s,
okay,
and it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you lose your health, you lose everything.
that's right.
So he brought together this team, and really his difficulty gave forward in the most advanced technology and PMF technology in the world. And they got together and they figured out the body has a natural resonance, and every organ has a different vibrational frequency.
Yeah,
So they created a field, a an energy field. It has background um, frequencies and foreground frequencies, and that's part of their patent and their technology. But it creates a wave that matches all the organs in your body. That's why when you sleep on the mat
yeah,
and it turns off, you say, well, it's no longer working, but actually it is still working because it's already harmonized. Another one of their patents is its ability to harmonize with your body.
okay,
And so your body becomes the battery. So even though it turns off naturally in 1 hour, but it maintains the field, the protective field around your body all night. It's just when you get up for some reason to go to the bathroom or otherwise, when you come back, you just have to hit the start button to reset the field. But as long as you're on the field, it's going to maintain this protective environment all night long, which is really exciting. So I'm going to just show you a little bit what's going on. So it's restoring the cell membrane function, and this is proven protected by the German patent. So the cell resonance fields stimulate the IO, or the in-out function of each cell. And as a result, the cell metabolism is substantially improved and overall cell function is improved. So then this is dark field microscopy, and they had to use this. And so this would be on the far left is before treatment. And then during a 5-minute treatment, you can see how the cells began to reconfigure.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes after treatment and 15 minutes after treatment, you now have a very healthy environment for your cells where the uptake of nutrients and the release of toxins is happening naturally. And that's why you mentioned water. You want to have good water intake. You want to have good magnesium intake as part of that whole process for the body's total healing. So it's very important that we maintain optimal cell function. So electrosmog creates that, what you're looking at before treatment, which the cells are destabilized and they clump together, and you're not getting a good uptake of nutrients, you're not getting good release of toxins.
Right.
So basically
Can
your
I ask
cell
you a
voltage.
question? Sorry.
Yes,
So let's say you're using the mat and you're restoring proper cell function, but then you go out in the world and you're constantly, regardless of what you do, like you're just constantly undoing the damage that your body is taking. Like, so of course it's better than nothing, but the truth is that we can't even get away from, and because people can't see with the naked eye, then they're not going to put credence or weight on the fact that this is wrecking their body on a so I guess, yeah, can it
No, that's a beautiful question, and it's
Yeah.
a very important question, because now with 5G, it's almost hard to get out of that environment.
Yeah, that
Now,
actual
you know,
smart chip.
if you have smart meters, you want to be a distance away, you want to keep your phone away. So you want to reduce as much as you can.
Right.
You want to get some time to walk on the beach or walk in the forest. That's important. So these are helpful, but even with all that, you're still going to be getting that damage. And the exciting thing about the cell vital
Yeah.
is when you go on the cell vital and it creates that field,
Yeah.
now the body can start pulling out that electrosmog in the body and the cells can start functioning naturally. So if you get that deep sleep every night, protect it. There are other technologies that Faraday cages can help, but this does it in a very powerful way at the cellular level in your body. So it really defends and protects your cells. And we've already seen, it's not one of our patents, but we've seen the clinical results of the removal of electrosmog of the body. I actually had an interesting experience. I was making a presentation at a medical spa,
Yeah.
and I had a device from Germany, and I was showing, okay, this is your EMF, and this is your bad EMF, the electrosmog, and it would show a little red light on the device. And then the person was on the mat, and I could see, there's no electrosmog. And then the person standing next to me, I just put it against him and see, you don't have electrosmog. And he had electrosmog. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
oh, is something wrong with my device? So I tried it again. I tried the person next to me, and I realized, wow. So I said, well, okay. And I got the person to get up off the mat, and the person who was standing next to me who had electrosmog went on the mat. And then after a few minutes, I tested him. He had no more electrosmog in his body. I was looking, and what I found out later, behind the wall in that room was a whole bank of Wi-Fi for all the facilities. So that was a electrosmog intense area. So when you stood up, you're just like in the electrosmog.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what it showed me is it actually pulls the electrosmog out of the person when they're on the mat. So
Yeah.
that was actually sometimes in the actual clinical experience, you get to experience these things.
Yeah.
So
I've also had I've had customers that turned to be clients. Like there was one, she was calling for her daughter, and her daughter started having neurological, and just my intuition is like, well, there any smart meters? And she's like, how do you know? She's like, behind the wall of smart meters. And like in the unit that I'm in, it's like diagonal from me. It's on the bottom, but it's still, it's not close to my bed, but it's still a whole, like, 8, 9, 10 of them, and not sure what to do. But the point here is, like, we're just inundated with them, with this electric smog.
Since you're mentioning what you should do while you're working, I know you're so busy with all your great work. Take a break, 20 minutes, lie on the mat. You can just put the relaxed setting. That'll free your cells from the electrosmog. And you see, if you remember, what we're doing is we're stabilizing that cell membrane function. So you really want to see that cell membrane improve in its function. So when you get on the mat, what happens is this redirects itself. So all those cells in your body, when you're on for before treatments, during a 5-minute treatment, 5 minutes and 15 minutes after you get off the mat, your body's back in this state.
Right.
So instead of being weakened and bombarded, like before treatment, you'll actually restore that cell function.
Do you know how long?
Well, it depends how bad the environment is.
Right.
If you were to I was talking to the engineers about this in Germany. I was trying to really understand it, and I said, well, how does that work? That when you get up, and then you lose it and it comes back. And they said, well, basically, because this works so synergistically with your body becomes like the battery. So that stabilizes it. But if you get in a bad environment, it's going to get weaker. And so, but the nice thing is your cells are regenerating. So you're going to get healthier and healthier cells. I think part of the healing that occurred with your knee was because you have the mat, you're creating an environment that is supporting that cell regeneration. So you really want to do that. The body is creating billions of cells every day. It's remarkable regenerative potential. And then the other thing is energy. You want to get that cellular energy. So on this next graph, it kind of shows it. We talk about aging. Well, until about the age 35, you start to reduce that cell energy potential. And if you take care of things, you can maintain that. But if you don't, it tends to drop down as you age older and older. As most people, they follow that red line, where the cell energy, instead of being at the optimum, which is between 70 to 100 millivolts, it drops down. And they say cancer is about 20 millivolts.
Oh, wow.
So the cell voltage of a healthy cell is supposed to be 70 to 110 millivolts. And so these extremely weak magnetic fields are used as transport to easy to communicate biologically active frequencies in your whole body. So this is such a life-changing environment. And we have so much research. There's over 100 clinical studies now available from Germany.
Wow.
So when we talked about electrosmog, this is the problem. Here you are in normal life, and you've got the cell towers outside, the electrical systems outside, you've got the headphones on, the Wi-Fi, the television, the radio, all these things, the computer, they all create electrosmog. And so how to reduce it, you try to reduce these things, but ideally, if you can get that beautiful time at night where you're regenerating cells in a safe environment, that's where you get rid of this dirty energy electrosmog, and you start getting that really genuine, powerful cell regeneration. You want to make healthier and healthy cells. So basically, a critical element in cell regeneration is deep restorative sleep. You want to overcome the electrosmog. And as I said before, Cell Vital is the only PEMF system in the world with a patent proving that it absorbs and minimizes electrosmog and protects the body from electrosmog.
So
Part of their science did that.
Can you talk about what distinguishes this from other PMF, and why is it the only patent, and how does it absorb electrosmog while others actually give off electrosmog?
Yeah, well, this is part of their patented technology. When Dr. Fisher worked with his team, they were really aiming at discovering how does the body, he couldn't understand he was healthy and vibrant, and then he gets a stroke in his 40s. So he
Right.
was like, could not understand, why am I so sick? And I think it was stress and other issues. But as they studied how is the body responding, they realized the body has this, it's called a Fibonacci sacred numbers. You see it
Yeah.
throughout creation. So they studied that
This
and
is
they realized,
Fibonacci sequence actually.
okay,
Because it mimics, I know you maybe not be into tattoos, but it mimics the bees. If you look at the bee stripes, it's the Fibonacci sequence. Anyway, sorry, go on.
no, that's true. You see that throughout all of nature.
Yeah.
So these scientists realized the way that God made the body is so miraculous. So they focus on creating a signal that supports each of the organs in the body and creates that frequency and that energy flow of the entire body. So it's in their signal. No one has that signal, and that's patented. And so they have they have 5 patents now. Now, the other thing they did is they knew that electrosmog was a serious issue.
Yeah.
So Dr. Robert O. Becker, who's one of the team, had done a lot of research on electrosmog we're talking about over 40 years ago. So he knew it was a big problem before it was known by most others. See, he was one of the world leader in electromedicine. So his contribution was aiming, we have to make sure that in this technology, we remove electrosmog and we don't create electrosmog. So, and when you go to the website, you can study more about it. But so that's the major difference. In their signal, no one has the same signal. That so they created a frequency that matched all the organs in the body. The Russian Space Center, they used this technology in the Russian Space Center, and they were able to defeat the world record on days in space with the Sputnik because they used our QRS cell vital system. The old version, we called it was QRS, quantum resonance systems, and now with their new technology and new patents, they're calling it the cell vital. But it's the same basic QRS technology.
And is this one of the few mats that you can actually rent if you don't want to buy?
Well, we don't have an official rental program.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes when we're doing the exosome therapeutics as a whole package, because it's so significant to improve, we'll rent it for a few months as part of the treatment.
Okay, got it.
But we do have a 6-month guarantee. So
Okay.
what you can do is you can get it. If you're not totally pleased on how you've been transformed, you can just return it for a refund.
Do you also have payment plans like a firm to allow people to pay in chunks?
Well, each of our clinics, when you're buying through the clinics, they have some of their own programs.
Yeah.
We don't set it directly from QCM, our company itself. We'll sometimes give some terms like a 4-month payment term, but in generally, each of the clinics will have their own special payment systems that they're running through their clinic. So would depend. You know what we'll do is, I'll give you my number and we can talk whatever kind of condition you're dealing with, and we can figure out how to help you.
Okay.
But even
So
in the
I'll
beginning,
be putting the links, and if someone wants to contact, are we going to be putting your phone number too?
yeah, you can put my phone number.
Okay.
I'm so happy to speak with people, and so someday if it gets too much, but no, when it comes to healing people, nothing's too much. That's why I'm living for this purpose.
Right.
Because I mean, the joy that I get, and especially you, who I really respect as a patriot and as an investigative journalist. When I saw you on the crutches, I thought, oh, we've got to get her back in the game, and that's kind of my passion. So it's a really joy for me.
Thank you.
Now, to give you an idea, this is from third-party testing. It's not just Cell Vital saying that,
Right.
well, our system is better. So this is a third-party electrosmog analysis. And this study was with probably what is the most popular PMF system sold worldwide, which is called the Beamer. And so they measured at different areas. They measured the head area, the abdominal area, and the foot area of the whole mat. And then they measured the pillow. That's where you're measuring, you're putting, we put the pillow on your knee.
Right.
And then the standard was that without power, it should be less than half a volt, and with power, it should be less than 10 volts.
Right. Okay.
So the cell vital was less than 3 volts in each area. So they're measuring it was less. It could have been 0 altogether, but it was less than 3 volts, because that their measuring technology was just, if it's below 3 volts, it's not even a third of the allowable, which is 10.
Okay.
So then they thought this is totally safe. So everything was less than 3 volts, but the beamer was 165 volts per meter at the head area, 197 at the abdominal area, and 150 at the foot area, and the pillow was 130. So they went beyond the allowable level of safety by a factor of 15 to 20 times. The tragedy is when people get a device for their health,
Yeah.
you really want them to get health. Now, if they just went in to help the blood flow in the knee or the back, people got some good results with Beamer, but you can never sleep on it. And you can't be on it too much. Like, like we talked about yourself in this environment, you can go on your mat every hour for 15, 20 minutes. It's just going to support the body's cells. So the key is supporting the body's only regenerative capability. And that's where you want to eliminate the electrosmog and help the body get it out of your cells. So yeah, this is very, and it was a third party electrosmog testing they did in Austria and Germany, because they do a lot with electrosmog there.
How about, can you talk about the pen for, I don't know if you have an image of the pen, but also
Yeah,
the
I
pen
can.
for localized,
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna just look to our website.
so I would sit and just hold the pen over the one spot, that the nexus of where the meniscus was torn. And I could feel
Right.
it through the skin. I could feel the pulse. Of course, some people are not sensitive. I'm super sensitive, so I could,
Right.
although I don't feel it at night when I'm sleeping on it and I'm dealing with something. I'm waking up a lot of times in the night. But it's not something that the mat can help with. It's more, I think, like a nocturnal pathogen, a nocturnal bacteria that likes to wake up in the night.
Mm.
So I'm going to be doing blow zone again, ozone to the bladder, because it helped it go away overnight.
Oh, okay.
It lasted 3-4 months. So anyway, but
Well, Miriam, it's gonna help. It's gonna help augment it. So if you do
yeah,
ozone therapy in combination,
yeah,
once again, you're trying to get the cells into that nice environment where the IO functioning well. When the healthy cells are doing well, this is part of the way ozone takes out all the pathogens.
right.
But part of that ongoing health is the healthy cells doing well as you get rid of the pathogens. So it's
Right.
going to work very synergistically with
Awesome.
your detox. So
Okay.
yeah, this is just our website. You can go on,
Okay.
it's qcmedicine.com. And
Is she sleeping on the mat, on the pillow?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
she's on
small?
that. Yeah. So I'm gonna just when you get there, you can see there's all this resonance-based information, and then if
So
you
it
go to
comes
the
with a pen. Every mat comes with a pen?
no,
Is that
the
it,
pen
or
is
is
an
it
option.
okay, it's extra.
So this is the pen that we use with you, and the nice thing is that
Can you go back? Okay, yeah. All right. Oh yeah, and
yeah,
there's
you
the
can see it there?
yeah, so it's a probe pen. All right.
Yes, a pen probe. So you have a light LED. So
Yeah.
if you can put it on the skin, it's good, because you get a little bit of that benefit of the red light therapy.
Yeah.
But the main thing is the electromagnetic pulse, which comes out from the end, and it stretches out to about 3 to 4 inches, and then it'll expand like a cone to maybe about 2.5 inches. So
So
when you
that's
were
more
doing
for
this on your knee,
targeted areas.
that's targeted, yes. So it's targeted to your knee.
Yeah.
So when you use that, that helped direct that PMF right to that area, and right in that area is where you want to fix those broken cells or heal the dysfunctional cells as they're replaced by better and better cells. And that's what was happening over that month by month period as we were regenerating your knee.
Yeah, like for instance, we were talking about one patient that the girl that broke her elbow, that would probably, if she did stem cells and then use the pen directly in that area, because my
Right.
understanding was a little piece of bone chipped off, and she was facing surgery, but because she's still young, maybe with the stem cells and the pen, she won't have to have a surgery.
Yeah, if each patient has the capacity to do the combination, there's nothing better.
Yeah,
If they're financially a little bit more challenged,
yeah,
you can still get tremendous result with your cell vital and the pen. Because remember, especially when you're younger, that cell's own regenerative capability, the body's regenerative capability is very high.
yeah.
So by supporting it with this naturally PMF field and the area aiming, you're going to get a lot of healing. So we're suggesting for that patient, begin with the mat.
Yeah.
We had a situation where we had one gal, she had they told her it was stage 4 colon cancer, and they told her she'd have to remove several inches of her colon. And I said, okay. And when she called me, a doctor referred her to me. We talked about it. I said, well, let's focus on everything. You got to calm yourself down. We'll get you on the mat. And it was still, the surgery was still scheduled like 70 days out. So she got on the mat and she improved her diet.
Yeah.
Then she goes in for a pre-operative testing.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, I don't understand, but there's no polyps here. There's no cancer here. So we can't really do the operation. So that was amazing turnaround, and she just did the mat. Her mother had a problem called retinal dystrophy, where you start to lose your eyesight.
Yeah, that's horrible. The retina gets dislodged,
Yeah.
disconnected. Oh, that's...
So what happened was they were doing an ophthalmology treatment
Yeah.
where they do a scraping, but they can only scrape a few times. And what happened was her
Jeez.
eyesight had gone to 80/20, and she was really despairing.
Yeah.
And we were going to do stem cell therapy. We very great success with SPG. We're
Yeah.
doing injection there. But I said, well, let's just start with the glasses, which is
Yeah, I was going to
that's
ask you about that because, you know, I wear glasses and contacts, and I know that it's mold that messed up my eyes, and I was curious to do stem cells in my eyeballs, but I didn't know there was a... That's amazing.
yeah. So this directs the PMF, the cell regeneration, right into the eye area. It's
Wow.
good for, I mean, for beauty, it helps take care of bags under the eyes if that's your goal. But you're still so young, you don't need to worry about it. But so it works for that. But all kinds of eye issues, glaucoma,
Really?
macular degeneration,
Wow.
cataract. We've had great success. But anyway, so her mother said, well, I'll try it. I want to try anything. So she
Yeah.
gets on the glasses and the mat. You got to remember, you're sleeping on that mat every night. So you're supporting the entire body's
Yeah.
regenerative capability.
Yeah.
Always encourage people to understand it's really, you want to create that environment, that healing environment. And there's many things you work on that. So she was on the mat and she used the glasses every day. And then we're going to schedule maybe the stem cell exome treatment later on. And then she calls back, she says, my eyesight has improved now to 60/20 and no operation. And then she calls back a month later, my eyesight improved, now I'm at 40/20. She was
Wow.
totally elated.
Of
And
course.
she actually didn't need to get the stem cells because she had such transformative results with the glasses and the mat.
So let's talk about also inflammation and the ability of the mat to deal with inflammation, which is the root of all disease. So I would imagine
Yeah.
that it helps, it's anti-inflammatory, is it?
Tremendous results in anti-inflammatory because if we go, I'm going to just okay. So when you look at the cell,
Yeah,
now this is a diagrammic, and so it's not the actual picture of a
right.
cell, but basically I have a plus minus charge.
Yeah,
So when that's really stable, you're uptaking nutrients into the cell to
yeah,
create the Krebs cycle, and then you're releasing CO2, H2O, and free radicals, and that becomes in the milieu where water. You get rid of dead cells by breathing. That's why meditation is so important, and peeing and pooing, pee, poo, and sweat. So
yeah,
all those together are getting rid of all your dead cells.
right.
So
And
if the cell membrane is functioning well, you're going to get the energy for healing and creating new cells, and you're going to release the toxins.
mm,
So that's so important. And so what's going on in the you're actually, when you change that cell membrane potential, everything changes. So this is probably what was happening with her eyes. She had these weak cells. The cells were weaker and weaker. This is what initially is acute, becomes chronic, especially as you age,
yeah,
because you're creating weaker and weaker cells.
yeah,
But if the cells are functioning really optimally, like after your treatment, when they regenerate, they're going to regenerate at a higher level. So you're going to get better and better cells. So you're going to have the benefit through time. But when people sleep on this mat every night,
yeah.
it's a huge transformation
Can
for
you talk
healthy aging.
about how you and your wife, what the benefits you've experienced since using the mat? How long have you been using the mat?
Well, I've been using now for about 5 years,
Wow.
and I always have really good energy, remarkably. And my wife had a problem. Marcy had a problem with plantar fasciitis in her heel. She tried
Okay.
everything. It was just, and she loves to walk her dog. It's her favorite thing in life. And she was getting to a place where she couldn't, because every time she stepped down, she had that pain in her heel.
Right.
And she got on the mat, and within 30 days, she got better. And with 60 days, it was completely gone. And it
Wow.
hasn't come back.
Wow.
And we had another experience where when we were in Florida, we went to the ocean. One of my favorite things, going to a restaurant that's right near the ocean. That's when, and so we went there, and she said, "Oh, I did something to my ankle," and she was limping. She said, "I have so much pain." I said, "Okay, well, let's just kind of slowly go back." And so we went back to our B&B, and I said, "Well, put the pillow, high setting on your ankle." She woke up in the morning and was gone. She didn't have any pain at all. So that
Nice.
was really exciting, and it's improved her sleep. So there's so many stories, because see, if you improve the cell, what the Germans would say is healthy cells, healthy body. That's it.
Right.
So we're actually working on the cellular level to improve the cell function. So there's so many areas that it works remarkably, and it works very synergistically. Like, for instance, if you're doing supplements, like, it's important. There's some very important herbs and supplements that we need to use.
Yeah.
Because you're improving that cell membrane, you're getting a better input of the calcium, nitrogen, oxygen go into the cell much better. If the cell is unstable, you're not getting that good absorption of your nutrients. So even a lot of our clinics offer IV therapy,
Yeah.
and but what they're finding, they use a much lower amount of, for instance, vitamin C or whatever their combination is,
Yeah.
and they're getting really great results. Especially now with NAD therapy, they do NAD injections.
Yeah.
They have to draw way back on the amount of NAD because there's such high level of absorption. So a lot of the clinics offer the mat in their clinic where you can take it with when you get your injection, and you get a much better result because you're getting more nutrients into the cell.
So it extends the, well, it magnetizes the potency in a.
That's right.
By the way, when I did the last injection in the knee, we had a little bit extra, and I put one on each side to go into my
Oh,
brain,
neat.
hopefully make me smarter. So,
I
yeah.
don't know if it can make you any smarter, but maybe.
Yeah, so, okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think that the exciting thing is, if they, we've got a system where if they work with your, just if they put in the code BEE, then they'll get a 5% discount.
Okay,
So
nice.
that'll make it, really nice for them. They can save
Yeah.
that money.
Yes, and then
And
you'll be
then,
accessible if they want to ask you questions. I'll put, when we put the interview out, all the links below.
yeah, and what often is really a good thing to do is we do a Zoom call like we're doing now, and
Okay.
you can just put in Calendly, CALENDLY.com,
Mm-hmm.
and /QCM,
Yeah,
and they can set an appointment with me, and we can just go over what their condition is, what they've been doing, and how we can help them, and I can connect them to one of our clinics around the country. So we can help them in every way we can to, you know, the healthier we are, the more we can serve others, the more we can solve a lot
absolutely.
of the problems in our world. So I really want to see healthy patriots joining us in
Thank
this
you.
challenge
Yeah,
to get things right.
health is
We got to
everything.
get things right.
Health is everything. We need all the tools with all the toxicity that we're being exposed to today. So thank you, David. Thank you for bringing this to the world and for your work as well. You're helping a lot of patriots, and you're involved, you and Marcy. So people can check out Quantum Cellular Medicine. We will have all the links below, and we're all about empowering people to be their own best health advocate, inspiring and educating them, because yeah, health is numero uno.
That's true. To do things in the world, we need, of course, a great heart and a great spirit. But we need a great body so we can do the work.
Absolutely. Do you tell people your age or no?
Well,
You don't have to, but obviously you're
no, it's
comfortable.
fine. I'm going to be 70 next year.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
Well, but so I'm kind of just getting close to mid age now.
Right. Well, you do have more
So
energy than a lot of younger people, and I just want to thank you again because you've been more there for me than my own father. So I'm very grateful for you and Marcy,
thank you.
David.
It's
Thank
an
you.
honor, and keep up the great work. I'm so grateful for the revealing, especially your work with George Floyd has been tremendous.
Thank
So
you.
I mean, in so many areas.
Thank
So thank you for all your work, and I'm happy to help you stay healthy, and
Thank you, and
let's continue the
others,
good
help
work together.
others. So yeah, I'm sure people will be very interested in this PMF, Matt, in this current state that we're living in, where, like I said, we're bombarded. So, and then we'll include David's email, maybe his phone number. We'll
Yeah.
see. So if anyone has any questions about their particular case, I know that I put him in touch with people who are interested in stem cells, because I'm such a fan now of both the mat and the stem cells that allowed me to get back on the dance floor. So I'm very grateful.
That's great. All right, thank you, and thank
Thank
you
you,
everyone for
David.
listening.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
real
you.
joy. We'd love to help you in any way we can.
Thank you.